Appreciate you joining us here online, where we can cuss and spit and drink and do all the things we don't do on air. This segment, allowing us to spit and drink and cuss, brought to you by the folks at Jinx Logos. You see the phone number right there on the front of my desk, 755-7767 if you are in the Knoxville area, 865 in the front of that if you are not. Tell you about them every week. This has been one of those days. They do a great job in terms of helping you promote your business. What they do is they put your logo, either print it or sew it, embroider it, onto any kind of merchandise for your sales team to wear, for you to wear, for giveaway items, golf bags. If you've got a golf tournament, they could do this. If you've got some sort of event at your church, they can print the T-shirts and get the logo right. And they do a great job. They just do tremendous work. The pricing's fantastic, and Jimmy Andrews is it's like he's a member of your team when you deal with him. I know this. He's worked with me. Great things to say about Jimmy Andrews and Jinx Logos. If you have any of those types of needs, give them a call. Check it out. The prices are fantastic. The selection is monumental. All right. Bob Hodge, freelance contributor to the Knoxville News Sentinel. Jimmy Himes hosts Sports Talk Monday through Friday on Sports Radio WNML. I can't even look at you or I'm going to slip and say the old name of the station. And then we got Chuck Cavaleris, who writes for Southern Golf Central and has covered the Vols for these many years. All right. A lot of SEC teams will be holding voluntary passing leagues this offseason. They're going to have full 7-on-7 work. You get everybody in there for the most part. You've got a little contact going on. It's serious business. Peyton Manning got a lot of credit for starting that here at Tennessee and organizing that stuff. And while it was voluntary, it was organized. Butch Jones has had players injured in the past in these types of things. He doesn't feel, second year in a row now, he doesn't feel like he's got the depth to really run a full-on or allow his team, his players, out of his watch to run a full-on 7-on-7 situation. So my question is, A, is he smart to play it safe and not risk injury? Or B, when you have a lot of hype around this, your quarterback's supposed to be taking a step forward, your receivers are supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. We haven't seen all that put together yet for more than a game or two at a time. Smart to play it safe, or would he be better? Is he taking a risk in not letting them get some chemistry together? What are your thoughts on his decision?
I think he's taking a risk either way. However, I would be tempted to limit it because were there 3 or 4 receivers injured this spring?
Yeah.
And you got another receiver that may or may not be with you because of his criminal situation.
Still no charges pressed on Von Pearson.
And then I'm picking up the paper and seeing Dante Fowler's out for the year because of an injury, and the Cleveland Browns drafted somebody in his rookie camp. He's out for the
Broncos
year.
just lost the draft pick.
It was the Broncos. I'm sorry. I would be concerned with that. So I may run routes and do those type things to build up that chemistry, but I might not go full 7-on-7.
Which, by the way, that is what they're going to have some of the passing skeleton stuff, the passing trees. They're going to run that, but it's not going to be as much gusto as some other teams have done it, or as Tennessee's done it in the past. Your thoughts?
I would go with the gusto. I think I would go ahead. I would have to run some of that 7-on-7 stuff for the simple reason that you did have all these guys gone. And you need to work up a little chemistry. And if you're going to be running routes, if guys are going to be running, it doesn't take a whole lot. A lot of these injuries happen anyway. So I just don't know if going full-on 7-on-7 really increases the injury factor that much. If you're running and cutting and doing things anyway, that's where a lot of these injuries come from. You're not going to have that much contact. I'd go ahead. I'd want the chemistry established.
You go back to the Justin Hunter injury against Florida. He's just running out for a pass, knee blows. So I see where you're coming. Yeah, you could have that happen if you're just running a passing tree before a game.
I mean, I look at it. I think that's more from like a coach's perspective almost, that we do need that chemistry. I look at it as a risk reward. How much more are you going to gain doing this than you're going to be able to gain in August when it really starts to matter? I don't think it matters that much. And to me, Butch Jones hadn't gotten a whole lot of things wrong. And if he's saying he thinks we need to tap the brakes a little bit, then I say, hey, that's your call. You do whatever you think's best. But Jimmy, I'd also put down the Florida defensive end, ACL injury, first practice with the Jaguars.
He mentioned that.
But I mean, you've also got the Denver time. I mean, it happens, and I just hate to lose a really talented player.
But the Fowler thing, there was very little. I mean, there was engagement, so it'll be interesting to see if the NFL investigates that. You're not supposed to be touching anybody. But you had 2 guys in contact But it was not massive contact. The poor kid, the Georgia offensive lineman, ex-Georgia offensive lineman, undrafted free agent, got lit up on Twitter as if he'd done something wrong. But I think Bob's dead on that you can have these injuries whether you're full on engaged or not. The perfect answer though is what you said first. You're risking it either
Pick
way.
your
You're
poison.
either risking
Yeah.
injury or you're risking a lack of chemistry. And you do need to build that chemistry because I think this passing game's overhyped right now. I think we've heard, oh, it's wide receiver you. I haven't seen enough from these guys. I've seen flashes. Marquez North has made some special catches, but as a unit,
Well, what's
I
your
don't
biggest-
see this yet. And Dobbs has been up and down.
I was about to say, what's your biggest issue with Dobbs? It's accuracy. And I
From the
don't
pocket.
think you really get a lot of increase in accuracy if you're just throwing to a receiver on air. So, okay, we're going to have a DB shadow him. Some teams do that. Okay, he's not
Yeah.
really being covered. So at what point in time are you letting some opportunity to work on your issues slip away? And I mean, and once again, Chuck's right. Butch Jones has not missed many calls.
Yep.
So,
And here's the other thing too. It always seems to get a little bit more competitive than it needs to. The last
No, that's
thing I
true.
want
Yeah.
to see is a receiver trying to dive to make a great catch, and all of a sudden, injures a shoulder. I mean, I think you can do some things.
But he's
I
going
guess
to do
there's
that
a
even
compromise
uncovered,
there.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, receivers are going to dive for those passes, even if they're uncovered, just out
Yeah.
there playing pitch and catch. They're going to still do those things.
The thing I remember about watching Dobbs at practice last year early when we had a chance to watch him against air, he wasn't completing those passes. So I'm going to at least let him do that.
Yes.
Yes.
And maybe back off on the drills where there's contact potentially or the competition that Chuck's referring to. But like I said, it's a risk either way. But I would and I know you were saying because of the injuries you want them
Yeah.
to build some chemistry, but I'd probably wait a little bit on that because I'd rather have them healthy than not.
Yeah,
Non-chemical.
better to have them
Yeah, I
healthy.
was thinking that word.
Better to have them healthy and building chemistry in the season than on the
Yes,
shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, the risk
They got all the
reward.
chemistry, but he's banged up for the year.
Build it in August.
Good enough. All right. Appreciate these guys. Appreciate you for watching every week. Check us out next Sunday live on WATE 6 at 11 a.m. for the Sports Source. See you next week, folks.